Now what have we got here? I do believe I recognize these goddamn chests. By Andra's salty bosom, Romaro hauled this chest from one end of the Deadfire to the other. No worse sense come out of chests like these, Captain. Trust you me. Dear S. That be me. I knew you'd seek me out. Please abandon the trail here. I fashioned this predicament for my own, and I not have you lock its weight round your own ankles. If you find yourself imperiled, seek Udina at Magic Water. She can help. Nay, Captain, that be over and done with. Certainly got what I came for. Thank you, kindly. I don't know Udina from Warmage, but Magic Waters, I know like my own fucking name. When I were a wee lad fresh on the Sorcerer, Romaro would treat me to the luminous bathhouse at Nekitaka. The water there shimmered like dawn on the open sea, and I, full flush with the poetic creativity of youth, called it Magic Waters. I know you don't owe me the favor, Captain, but if we could find our way to that bathhouse, I'd not hold it against you. Unless, of course, you asked. For now, though, we've got plunder and pillage before us, aye?
Found something. To anything.
Happy to oblige. I'm all ears. Tell me what's on your mind. I'm glad we talked.
Right. I'll get it open. Done.
ring of a bell comes to you on a cold wind. The ring comes again and again, until soon the air is full with the sound of 1,000 bells ringing all at once. You feel a resonance in your core, a bell ringing in tune with all the others. Something in you bends, then breaks, and you are borne away on the ringing tide, just another peal among the many. The tide of bells recedes. You lever yourself up onto your knees and realize you have been here before. You stand in Bareth's realm. You are alone. And then, you are not. An indistinct figure stands before you, flickering between forms like a fire-cast shadow. A fixed, taunting grin. Bottomless black eyes. A yawning chasm in the earth. The aspects of Bareth, the Usher and the Pallid Knight, shift in and out of focus. And at their back, 4 indistinct shades hover. You feel an eternity stretch out behind each of them, reaching back to places so distant and yet so near you cannot comprehend their size. The shifting image of Bareth settles on the aspect of the Pallid Knight.
Watcher, I tasked you to discover Aethys's intentions. Tell me what you have learned.
The Pallid Knight knits her brows.
He does not seek to return to the Beyond? Intriguing.
Her sickly pale skin pulls tight across the bones of her face, as if the shell of this aspect does not quite fit the impossible creature it contains. The figure nearest Bareth dissolves and reforms in the image of a thin-lipped, ancient crone, whose face has felt the melting kiss of fire. The goddess Wodika strides forward.
Does Aethys frighten you, Bareth? He should. Magran subdued Aethys's influence once before, and yet he returned.
From out of Wodika's shadow shuffles a hunched, bald man you recognize as the god Scan. His skin is mapped with swollen lash scars, and breath whistles through the ragged hole in his face where his nose once was. He does not speak, but stares up at Wodika, with naked loathing plain on his ruined face. Wodika steeples her long, knob-jointed fingers.
We must annihilate Aethys now, before he makes a rash decision we cannot easily annul. A moon would do the job nicely.
Wodika throws her head back and laughs. The sound is a dry, rasping bark.
Andra could do with a new act. Her current one has grown rather stale.
The figure beside the aspect of Bareth flows forward in a swirling cloud of ash. The ash falls to the tiles and reveals a molten-skinned woman, leaning on a monstrous, wicked-edged broadsword. Magran's glowing lips curl in disdain.
We must find a solution to the problem of Aethys that is neither do nothing, nor destroy the world. I acted in haste during the Saints' War. You will not goad me into doing the same now. To move against him while his plans are unknown would be the height of foolishness. We must find wisdom in precaution.
Magran looks at you as one might a wayward gob of spit on one's shoe.
It is no business of yours what the gods decide.
Another of the silent figures steps forward, and the warm, golden light of a summer's afternoon spills across your face.
Let's all take a deep, calming breath. Perhaps cooler heads will prevail.
Behind Helia's words, you hear the soft coo of doves.
Aethys has been separated from us for too long. Isn't it possible he intends only to gather enough souls to reclaim his realm in the Beyond? He should be welcomed.
You look up then into avian eyes. Through them, you see clouds of starlings converge and divide. Helia puts a feathered hand to her chest.
He wouldn't. Betrayal is not in his nature.
Scan shuffles forward.
Yes, yes. We should welcome Aethys's return to the fold. His gratitude we can leverage to cajole him into divulging his plot. Then, when he believes himself to be in our good graces, we do as Wedeka suggests, and crush him into the earth.
Scan pauses, inspecting you.
Ah, and here is the Watcher who killed Lord Harren, the man who tormented his dear niece, Alice. Curious.
Scan licks the ragged edge of his lipless mouth and grins, then turns to Helia.
I did not expect such a deliciously ruthless idea from you, Helia. I am impressed.
Helia's feathered crest stands on end.
You wretched little creature.
Your point is well made, little Watcher. If self-evident, Aethys has not been known to possess a vindictive nature. Indeed, he has occasionally been magnanimous to a fault. However, if we push him to the brink of reason, there is no telling what he may do. He is, as ever, unpredictable.
Something akin to fondness creeps into her voice. The Pallid Knight gestures for silence.
Aethys cannot be killed, but he may be subdued. Yet to do so will take immense power and time. Both stand in his favor.
Magrin grits her black glass teeth.
That is why we must ascertain his plans before he has the chance to put them into motion.
She begins to pace. Her steps leave little trails of fire in her wake. Magrin stops and balls her hands into flaming fists.
Even if we manage to destroy his current form, there is the possibility he could return, if he has not already absorbed all of his children.
The Pallid Knight casts a cold, cutting glare in Magrin's direction.
Magrin speaks too freely. That knowledge is beyond your ken, Watcher.
Wodeka waves the gods to silence.
Aethys gathers strength. His strength is a threat to us.
Her voice takes on a sharp, almost panicked edge.
There is no sensible answer to the question of a resurgent Aethys, other than decisive, final action.
Your opinion is unasked for, but noted. We will act when it is appropriate to do so, and not before.
The Pallid Knight steps away from the half-circle of assembled gods. She pulls herself up to a great height. The words she speaks next come not from her mouth, but from all around you.
Follow him, Watcher.
The black of the Pallid Knight's irises expand until her eyes are as dark and cold as the void between stars. She bends down and brings her ghostly face level with your own.
Your debt to me remains unpaid.
She stares at you, unblinking. Like a needle drawn to a magnet, you are pulled toward her one compulsory step at a time. Helpless to resist, you tumble into her impossible eyes. You fall wildly, endlessly, unable to find your bearings or slow your spin. And in the distance, above, no, behind you, comes an insistent ringing. You angle yourself toward it, searching for the sound. A small silver bell appears just inches from your fingertips. You reach for it, straining to still its interminable ringing. The moment you touch it, your soul slams into your body with all the force of a fall from the top of the sky. You blink open your eyes and find yourself on the floor of your ship's cabin, alone.
I've got it.
I'm glad to see you in good...
Watcher, tell me what's on your mind. They're there in my head, and sometimes... Sure thing,
That's not a very nice word. Who taught you that?
Uncle Seraphim?
I see. We'll just have to have a little chat, won't we? Yes? One would hardly imagine that a colossus made of glowing Ardra could be so hard to find. But then I suppose the gods wouldn't have chosen you if the task were easy. Well, they seem largely competent. I would feel better about that were they not run by profiteers and animancers. Governor Clario seemed honest and well-intentioned. So one wonders why he was stationed at such an out-of-the-way post. I'd heard Deadfire had a pirate problem, but I had no idea how large it was. Or how fashionable. Still, the only thing more dangerous than a unified pirate nation is one at war with itself. I worry about who will be caught in their crossfire. As a matter of fact, I did. I visited my father. I hadn't seen him since leaving the academy at Broggenheel. Not well. Years of drinking have finally caught up with him. And I don't think my mother has been to see him since my academy days. Still, time had worn down his edges. Like an old Stelgar with dull teeth. Indeed. I used to see him as an iron tyrant. A cold, unyielding presence. I simply came to realize that he was ultimately a weak man. One who, in his own flawed way, tried to give me order and structure. I don't condone his violence, or his temper. But I do pity him for his failings, and forgive him of his flaws. But not yours? It's all right. After all, it took me quite some time to reach this understanding. It may seem strange, but I find it easier to forgive my father. He may have had a cruel temper, but he at least was present. My mother knew what he was like, and she spent most of my life away with her Thane. It was decades ago now. My father was steward to an earl in the Seathwood. My mother entered into a hamnig with a Thane when I was very young. I think they must have loved each other once, but I recall little evidence of it. It was. It's been a while since I've been able to speak candidly with anyone, especially about the Leaden Key. It's unexpectedly liberating. What's on your mind?
you be having a tick, Cap. I'll be thinking that, if I be dragging you into these depths, you deserve the full sounding. When I were a wee swabby, fresh to the sea, it were Romaro that showed me the ropes and rigging. More than that, he, kept his weather eye open for me. The sea be a right poxy ore on occasion, and life aboard the Sorcerer, that and more. Malnash, our ship hunter, she were all, wet and bothered for doing me harm, and Romaro. He protected me. Mentored me too. Learned me letters and navigation. Handed down the Principe traditions. In time, we became close as kin or closer. And the Sorcerer, my family. Right, fantastic fucking question, Cap. Word out with mutiny. But I'll be putting about as much stock in that as a dockside doxy for manners. Well, no, I don't normally be singing no praises of veracity, Cap. But in the matter of Romaro, I'll be hunting the truth. Fair. He be of Old Valian stock. A good man and righteous. Not honest, of course, but honourable. Were our shipboard sawbones, more than half handy at it. More than one swabby behind the old salt of deferral from the wheel. Well, only knows, Cap. She treated me like my mere presence gave offence. Thanks, Cap. I'll be holding you to it. Ahoy, Captain. What can I do you for? I ain't no liar, Cap. Lies be for novices. Then I be possessing a mastery of the verbal arts. My tongue be the most flexible weapon in my arsenal. Ask away, Cap. Formerly the Principe San Petrena. The princes, without a home, They came from Grand Valia ages ago. Now they be the scourge of the Deadfire. More than that, ain't for the likes of me to say. Ask away, Cap. Raiding seafaring vessels mostly. Seasoned ships cargo. Ships themselves if they be worth anything. If there be passengers of high birth, we be taking them for ransom too. Ain't squeamish about slaying, but be avoiding it when we can. Get yourself known for killing folk. They get more likely to fight you when you come for the gold. Ask away, Cap. Aye, that I do, Cap. What not? Smell of the sea, creak of the rigging, blast of the cannons, rush aboard in a right piece of prey. A mug of spice rum in my hands and a bawdy song on my lips. A lad or lass in every port and another in my hammock. Be a pirate's life for me. Ask away, Cap. In least, Cap. We ain't a flog-stroking Rowatai navy. Twixt the seaworthy vessel and passable crew, you've managed yourself the hardest part already. Now you just need to be setting yourself to piracy, after you be talking it over with the Consuelo. No, we ain't exactly a bunch known for housing hard-ons for hard rules. Ask away, Cap. Aye, aye, Cap.